I'm Ted Carson. Been in the business for 30-some years at least. Started when I was about 14 years old. I always loved horses. I always loved agriculture, and so it was a perfect fit for me.
Did you grow up on a farm?
I grew up on kind of a hobby farm, 5-acre farm, had a couple cows, had a couple horses, and I grew up next to some farms that had horses. It was an opportunity for me to clean stalls in the mornings or evenings, all that stuff like that, before and after school. So for me, it was something I could make a little bit of money at as a child, and I always had it. It was Arabian horses that were around us. We had small farms around us as well. We had one big farm, which is a major breeding farm in the whole country, I guess, even still today is. So we were just, I happened to be exposed to the Arabian horse from the very beginning of since I was 3. I realized I loved the horses. I always wanted a horse on my Christmas list, and never got it. And I think sometimes, when you never get really what you want, maybe it drives you harder. And so for me, it may sound strange, but if you ever take a show horse or a horse out in the pasture and you go smell their muzzle, they have the exact same smell. It doesn't matter how expensive they are or how inexpensive they are, or inside, outside, or how well they're cared for. They seem to have like this smell about their muzzle that's the same. And that's probably the one thing that kind of always, brings me back to maybe, what I thought as a child, And so I can take some of these horses and I can still smell that same smell I did back when I was a kid. Well, for me, when it came to competition, what I wanted was not to just buy a horse and go and compete with it. It wasn't enough for me anymore. And so I wanted the challenge of actually having my own breeding program and then having to compete with it. And that came with a lot of pain. You have babies and you go out and you compete and you work hard and you get your butt kicked, and then you can't sell any of them and nobody wants them because you're losing with them. And then you realize that you have to adjust and you have to do what you love and breed for what you love. Don't breed for what everybody else loves. And then you have to know why you're breeding. I think it's super important. Why you know exactly why you're breeding. So anyways, that's a big learning curve in that, and the learning curve is a lifetime. I've been in the business in a lot of different facets. Of course, you start, you just want to work and show and be with the horses and things like that, and then life evolves, and so I've been involved in breeding and training halter horses, training performance horses, training people how to train. So I've been involved in judging and just a lot of aspects to the business, and so we're really multifaceted at this point. But where I probably had my most wins is in the halter breeding arena, worldwide as well. I love the Arabian horse and what it is really known for, which is beautiful faces and nostrils and eyes. Mainly nostrils and eyes. That's what I mean. It's like you walk up and they can melt you, So for me, that and tail carriage. Those are my two things. And self-carriage and self-attitude towards all of that. And that's really what the Arabian horse is known for. And that's what I love, and that's what I try and breed for. And I've been trying, and you know what? There's a lot of failures, but when you have your successes, it's, it just, that's why you do it. You realize every morning why you wake up and you see the one that you bred, and that's why you do it, I have 2 children, both very different. One has loved horses. Our daughter's loved horses since she was just born. And our son, he appreciates the horses. He sees their qualities and their unqualities. He has a real distinct eye for it, but he loves ball. So in the end, I think that he would probably be the guy that made enough money that could afford the horses for his family or his sister or maybe even his mother, and maybe me, but he's gonna get old someday. So he's a guy that takes on the responsibility that he will own them and pay for them. And our daughter is the one that cherishes the horse. She loves him, she nurtures him, she brings him along, and she's got a hard love that makes an incredible horse at the end. And so of course you've witnessed that and what kind of horse she's made. And something like that where you kind of force that love onto him and they get this amazing bond. You have to really love the horses to have what she's done with the horses.
How old is she right now?
My daughter's 15. Our son is 11, and they both, I think they both love life, and they will love the horses their whole lives, and I think they will both own horses. So where they go with it, I guess that's like having a baby horse and someone asking what are they, how good are they, what are they going to do in their lifetime. I think that's the same with children. You have to just let it happen and give the time and nurture it and give it their best opportunity so they can make some good decisions. I'm trying to set up the opportunity that if she decides to train, she'll have a beautiful farm to train at, and she has to make that decision for herself. I think that I would be happy for her to do that, but it's also not an easy life. It's tough. It's early mornings, it's late nights, it's a lot of different things. It's not only loving the horses and training them, but it's you have to be social, and you have to hear problems, and you have to be there's a lot to that, being a trainer. And so I want her to do it because she wants to, and not because that's what we want for her. And if she decides to, she'll be good. She's very good. She's got a super hand about her and a great feel, and that's both in halter, what I've had my most successes in, and in riding. She's a beautiful dressage rider, and hunter pleasure she's been beautiful in, and won a lot of things in that. And so anyway, she has it at her fingertips if she chooses that, but she will always own them.
Do you have many national champions?
I was never the person that counted. Maybe I haven't won as many as others. We've won a lot, but for me, it's the journey. It's not actually the win that satisfies me. It's the journey what makes that happen, and I like competition. I like it. I want to have a reason to go out there and beat somebody or beat a horse or whatever that means. I thrive on that. So, and if I lose, I even get more competitive. So, anyways, for me, it's really about breeding something I love, which is the beauty and the eyes and the nostrils and the tail carriage and the self carriage of what the Arabian horse is. And it's still today, after all these years, that's what I love about her.